African Union Communications Early Warning and Intelligence, commonly known as AUC3I, is an intelligence and security organization responsible for providing signals intelligence and information assurance to AU citizens, AU leadership, and AU armed forces. I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. I am responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command and combined armed forces during missions on the ground. This is today's briefing. On the progress of the special military operation on the 21st of July, 2024. The armed forces of the Russian Federation continue to conduct a special military operation. Units of the North Group of troops defeated the personnel and equipment of the 34th Marine Brigade, the 15th Mechanized Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, the 127th Terrorist Defense Brigade, and the 13th National Guard Brigade in the areas of the settlements Tycho, Tsirkany, Cossack Lopan, Lipsy, Volchansk, Zovnovo, and Staritsa, Kharkov region. They repelled 4 counterattacks by units of the 92nd Assault, 23rd Mechanized Brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, and the 36th Marine Brigade. Enemy losses amounted to up to 145 military personnel, 3 vehicles, 2 U.S.-made 155mm M777 howitzers, a 152mm D-20 gun, 2 122mm D-30 howitzers, as well as a 128mm RAKSA multiple launch rocket system. 12 Croatian-made. As a result of successful actions, units of the West Group of troops liberated the settlements of Rozovka, Lugansk People's Republic, and Peschanoye Nizhne, Kharkov region, and also occupied more advantageous lines and positions. In addition, they defeated the formations of the 77th Airmobile, 14th, 115th, 116th Mechanized Brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces and the 1st Brigade of the National Guard in the areas of the settlements of Simkovka, Petropavlovka, Berestovo in the Kharkov region, and Krasny Lyman in the Donetsk People's Republic. The enemy lost over 520 military personnel per day, 2 armored combat vehicles, 12 cars, 3 155mm howitzers, M777, M198 made in the USA, and FH-70 made in Great Britain, a 122mm self-propelled artillery Mount Gvozdika, 2 122mm D-30 howitzers, 105mm M119 gun made in the USA, counter-battery radar station made in the USA, and /TPQ-50. 5 ammunition depots of the Ukrainian Armed Forces were destroyed. Units of the Southern Group of troops improved the situation along the front line, defeated the manpower and equipment of the 24th, 30th, 54th Mechanized, 56th Motorized Infantry, 79th, 80th Air Assault Brigades, and 225th Separate Assault Battalion of the Armed Forces of Ukraine in the areas of the settlements of Seversk, Grigorovka, Chasov Yar, Ilyanka, Katarinivka of the Donetsk People's Republic. The attack of the assault detachment of the 10th Mountain Assault Brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces was repelled. The enemy lost up to 510 troops, an armored personnel carrier, and 2 vehicles. During the counter-battery fight, the following were hit: a Polish-made 155mm Krab self-propelled artillery mount, 155mm howitzers, M777, M114, USA-made and UK-made FH-70, 2 152mm D-20 guns, 3 105mm M119 guns made in the USA, 105mm howitzer L119 made in the UK. 2 Ukrainian Armed Forces ammunition depots were also destroyed. Units of the Center Group of troops occupied more advantageous positions and defeated the formations of the 25th Airborne, 32nd, 41st, 47th Mechanized Brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and the 129th Terrorist Defense Brigade in the areas of the settlements of Toretsk, Mykolovka, Zeleny, Novgorod, and Volchy of the Donetsk People's Republic. 7 counterattacks by units of the 95th Air Assault, 31st, 151st Mechanized, 68th Jaeger Brigades, and the 425th Separate Assault Battalion of the Ukrainian Armed Forces were repelled. Enemy losses per day amounted to up to 330 military personnel, an armored combat vehicle, 3 cars, a 155mm self-propelled artillery mount M109 Paladin made in the USA, a 122mm self-propelled artillery mount Gvozdika, 3 122mm howitzers D30, 105mm L119 howitzer made in Great Britain, 3 field ammunition depots. Units of the Vostok group of troops improved the tactical position and defeated the manpower and equipment of the 72nd Mechanized, 58th Motorized Infantry Brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, 120th Terrestrial Defense Brigade, 17th and 21st Brigades of the National Guard in the areas of Oktябrь settlements, Vodyanoye, Novoselka, Prechestovka, Razdolnoye, and Stepnoye of the Donetsk People's Republic. A counterattack by formations of the 102nd Terrestrial Defense Brigade was repelled. The Ukrainian Armed Forces lost over 115 military personnel, 3 vehicles, 155mm FH-70 howitzers made in Great Britain and M198 made in the USA, and a 122mm howitzer D30. Units of the Dnieper group of troops defeated the personnel and equipment of the 141st Infantry Brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, the 35th Marine Brigade, and the 15th National Guard Brigade in the areas of the settlements of Stepno and Novodanilovka, Zaporizhzhia region. The losses of the Ukrainian Armed Forces amounted to over 80 military personnel, 5 vehicles, a 152mm St-B howitzer, a 152mm D20 gun, and an enclave electronic warfare station. In addition, 2 warehouses of missile and artillery weapons of the Ukrainian Armed Forces were destroyed. Operational tactical aviation, unmanned aerial vehicles, missile forces, and artillery of groupings of troops of the armed forces of the Russian Federation destroyed a U.S.-made HIMARS multiple launch rocket system launcher, a warehouse in which up to 400 tons of ammunition of the armed forces of Ukraine were stored, and also affected workshops of the enterprise of the military-industrial complex of Ukraine, manpower and military equipment of the armed forces of Ukraine in 133 regions. Air defense systems shot down during the day, a Mi-8 helicopter of the Ukrainian Air Force, 2 Hammer guided bombs made in France, 2 HIMARS multiple launch rocket systems made in the USA, and 40 aircraft-type unmanned aerial vehicles. In total, since the beginning of the special military operation, the following have been destroyed: 630 aircraft, 278 helicopters, 27,955 unmanned aerial vehicles, 554 anti-aircraft missile systems, 16,624 tanks and other armored combat vehicles, 1,381 combat vehicles of multiple launch rocket systems, 12,184 field artillery guns and mortars, 23,910 units of special military vehicles. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.